Hey everyone, welcome to episode 32 of the Illustrious Gentlemen. This episode, me and Scott are at Santan Brewery in Chandler, Arizona, and we're talking to Mike Malvey, former owner of Atomic Comics, who currently works for Santan Brewing. So we recorded this episode live inside a working restaurant and bar, so the audio is going to make it sound as if you are sitting next to us at the table at a working restaurant and bar. So just be aware that there may be some audio issues, but we hope you enjoy the conversation. I know we had a lot of fun doing it. And before we get to that, I want to thank our sponsor, who is Jesse James Comics. So please go check out the new Jesse James Comics location at the northwest corner of Peoria and 51st Avenue by Sprouts. The new 8,000 square foot location has an expanded gaming area for Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Force of Will, all the card games everyone likes. And they also have their well-known $1 treasure room, and you can get stuff there. They have over 500,000 items for sale on the floor, new issues, graphic novels, back issues, everything you could want. So check them out at jessejamescomics.com or on Facebook and Twitter. And now take it away, Gary.
Welcome to another episode of the Illustrious Gentlemen, the place where comic book artists and top blokes Scott Godleski and Ryan Cody talk about life, work, comics, and booze. Follow the show on Twitter at TIG_show and online at www.tigshow.com, TIGSHOW.com. Don't forget to let us know what you're drinking while you're listening to the show. Go on yourself, big man.
Welcome to Santan.
There you go.
Hey.
Excellent. All right. Oh, mine's spiking pretty good. Okay, so all right, Mike. I'm gonna do all the intro and shit later.
Okay.
Not right now. So,
Okay.
So what am I drinking?
Okay, you're drinking our Devil's Ale, which is our flagship beer. It's a pale ale. It's going to get a lot of good hop in there. It's several different types of hops we use, but it's going to have just a lot of flavor, real robust, the malt, the caramel. I like it. A lot of people have always asked us for years, like, why don't we do a session IPA? And in my opinion, that's our session IPA.
Right.
It's a pale ale. What do you think of it?
Yeah, it does kind of taste like an IPA, but with a lower content. It
Exactly.
is a session beer, right?
Yeah, I think it's 5.1.
Yeah.
So
It's not too bitter. It's
Nope, not at
45 IBU. Yeah.
Now, Scott, what you're drinking, that's our Gordo Stout. I'm not a stout guy, and we only sell it here at the pub, so I really don't have any information to give you because I don't sell it, and I'm the off-premise sales rep. So I do all the grocery stores and chains for Santan.
It's good.
So it's not something I've ever sold. But again, if you do like a porter or a heavier beer, we have a beer called Sex Panther we've done for years, and it comes out every November. So it's November, December, January, and you can get that here at the pub. You can get it at any restaurants in town, bars, and it's always available in package at your supermarket, your
Right.
Total Wines, places like that. It's one of my favorites.
What's the percentage on that? Do you know? I didn't see it. I didn't see it on the menu list.
It's something they keep here pretty much all because people love stouts, so they try to keep something on, especially when Sex Panther is gone. But I'm not really sure.
All right, we'll have to Google it later.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's good.
Yeah. And you're a stout guy, right? Got a nice frothy mustache going in, my friend.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks on the show, I've been drinking black and tans with like a stout and an IPA. Like I've been putting IPAs in my black and tans.
See, I haven't done that in a long time, but I used to always go to like Fibber McGee's and places like that years ago, and I was totally because I was a Guinness guy back then, and I would do Guinness with something. Always, it was fun.
All right, Scott, you got some questions for Mike?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Let Mike get back to work. All right.
Hey, is Free Comic Book Day this weekend?
Yeah, it's tomorrow, but this won't go up till next week. So
okay.
Free Comic Day was a rousing success.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
The best ever.
Best ever, right?
All right. So, I guess let's talk about beer. So, why beer?
Well, okay, the story of why Mike Malvey is doing beer.
Just like beer in general. Like
give us a history of beer.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Why are you? Why this?
Well, again, my relationship to Santan is based off the fact that the owner, the founder, is Anthony Connecchia. Anthony Connecchia worked for Atomic Comics for 9 years.
Oh, okay. I didn't
So
know that.
he was there for many, many years in between. We are now celebrating our 10th year at Santan, so he hasn't worked at Atomic in at least 9. Because weird, the first year he had this business, he was still working for us part-time the first year. Maybe 6 months, I don't know if it was a year, but he would come and do the deliveries. It wasn't ever his job, but he basically did a delivery job for us where he would pick up our diamond shipments, and then he would do 2 shipments a week for us driving the Atomic truck. Remember that big giant rig we had?
Yeah.
He would drive that twice a week at the end of his, he still had this place. But, I did a bunch of stuff between Atomic Comics in sales when it came to publishing with video production. So I did that for a while. I still have that business going. It's called Capture Planet Studios. So I still work on videos for Dark Horse. I did a Legend of Zelda video a few months ago for them. I'm working with Valiant. I do all their video production stuff for Valiant and Marvel. The big one, Marvel. But it's really small scale compared to what we were doing several years ago for Marvel when they launched Marvel AR.
Right.
That was a pretty big process and a lot of work, every day. In the last couple of years, that slowed up a little bit, and my portfolio was pretty much just working with comic companies. So I had an office waiting for work in Anthony's building. So I was sort of working out of the warehouse that we have where we do all the production, we make the beer.
Yeah.
And then, they were looking for a sales guy, and I was sort of just there all the time. And Anthony asked if I had any interest in coming in and work for him, which is weird for him because I was his boss for so many years.
Right.
So yes, we are inside Santan Brewery, downtown Chandler, Arizona Avenue and Chandler Boulevard. Like I said earlier, we're celebrating our 10th year anniversary.
Yeah, I remember I was telling Scott before I saw the established 2007, when we were waiting, I was telling Scott, you brought a bunch of us here for the soft opening. We came out here and had
Yes.
beer before they ever opened, and I told Scott, must have been 10 years ago at least.
Yeah. And then I remember the first year or two, we would come down. I would round up a lot of guys. I don't know if you came once, Scott, but I would bring the local artists down here because they had a art walk on Wednesdays or something like that. We would set up some tables around, and I know some of the locals would come down and help support. Back in Weirboos, there wasn't as many conventions. I don't know. People had more time back then, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
All right. So, what is your role within the brewery? You mentioned sales.
Right.
You're the outside sales guy?
No, I'm the off-premise sales. So there's two
Okay.
divisions. There's on-premise, which would be a bar and a restaurant. The people that sell beer on tap, and then what I do is I'm the off-premise sales manager. So I'm in charge of all the grocery stores in the state of Arizona, and I work to make sure that we're on planner. Planner means it's where we're going to be on a display in the store. If we're on ad, make sure they're supporting the pricing, and just making sure our product is up to standards for what we want it to be, how it looks on the floor, how it even tastes. I buy 6-packs and beer on the floor all the time to taste the quality control of the beer. So guess what? I drink beer a lot, guys.
Sounds like a great job.
Yeah, it is a good job. I mean, I really enjoy it.
So that's one of my questions. Is working at a brewery as cool as we would think it would be?
It's even cooler. You don't even imagine how cool it is because, here I am. I'm drinking a beer that was just brewed this past week. It's a new beer.
So what are you drinking?
So again, I'm not even sure on the name. I just know it's the first time we've ever used Mosaic hops.
Yes.
We've never used Mosaic. We've been wanting to for years, so we like to experiment. This is on a brewer's handle, so it's like a hidden handle in the back. So you have to sort of ask for it. We want other brewers to come in and try it, tell us what they think of it. But it's Citra hops with the Mosaic hops. It's a real nice light. It's I think he said it's 5.152. Not hoppy though, but I mean not bitter, but really smooth. A lot of complexity, a lot of different. Give it a little taste.
Yeah.
But again, it's a lighter beer than a stout, of course, or a pale ale.
It's got a fruit,
Right, that citrus.
Right.
I taste like a lot of times with beer that's the aftertaste after. It's not the going down. It's what your palate perceives as it's afterwards.
Right.
And I get a lot of it's almost like a mandarin orange is what I get.
Yeah. See, I don't have we talk about this all the time. I don't have that kind of a palate.
Yeah.
I just know that it it's
beer
just
good.
Could be apricot flavored, could be
Yeah.
mandarin orange flavored. I don't know.
Well, that's what's funny when we have conversations with the brewers and they bring all this stuff up, and I go, there's a million people that drink beer and they just it's good. They don't ever even pick up all these things that you're picking up. They don't care about how many different styles of hops, or if we're getting it from Australia, or if we're getting it from northern Arizona. They don't care. They just want good tasting beer.
Right.
And the best way beer tastes is when it's cold, ice cold. So, that's all you do, and that's what we love about here. Santan, that beer is always ice cold on tap.
Yeah.
Great place, so cheers.
Cheers.
So I get to travel the whole state, by the way, by doing that. So I'm in Tucson a lot. Flagstaff not so much so, but we do go up there. We work with our distributor partners, so our distributors are working to do everything I'm doing, and I might just be on the phone with them. I might be making visits randomly to certain territories.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're always in the grocery store.
Every day.
Let me know when I'm shopping for groceries at home and I'm looking at beer. There's always Santan.
Yes.
Prominently displayed.
Thank you. Yeah, we're doing a pretty good job. It's so funny about the grocery store thing. So you guys can relate because you're both are family men. So I work all day. Like I get up and I'm out the door at 7 a.m. and I'm in these grocery stores all day long. And then literally 5:30, 6 o'clock, whatever it is, whenever I decide that I'm heading home, my wife will always call me and say, "Hey, can you go stop off at the grocery store and grab something?" I'm like, you can text me all day and say what you want, so I don't have to make another stop at the grocery store.
Keep a cooler in your car.
Just literally, I'll come home sometimes and she'll, "Can you go back out and get something?" I'm like, what?
All right. So in doing show prep, I was looking at the website and I actually jotted down the names of all of your
oh my God.
brews here. One of the things I got to wondering is who names the beers, and can we name the next one?
Oh, you know what? I'm all for it. I think we should do something, and that's one of the funny things is we really want to do something. The Hero Initiative, which I'm affiliated with as well. We do a lot of stuff with breweries across the country to support the Hero Initiative.
Right.
When we do conventions like C2E2 or in Chicago or New York, we use Stone all the time in California. We'd love to do something here with Santan and the Phoenix Comic Con.
Right.
And that's something we've had talks for about a couple years now, and it's slowly rolling, but it just takes time. So there's all sorts of laws, liquor laws, state laws of what we can and cannot do. So I know we would love to do something and maybe make a beer for the Phoenix Comic Con and get some fans to name it. I mean, again, you like stouts. Stouts, I'm sorry, man. In the summertime, Phoenix Comic Con, we're not going to make a stout. Okay, It's not going to happen.
No, I enjoy you guys. You guys sponsored a beer garden last year at Phoenix Comic Con.
Yes.
And I drank a healthy amount of the Galactic IPA. I think
The Moon Juice,
weekend. Yeah, the Moon Juice.
That's our biggest beer blowing up wise. We actually now sell it. I meant to bring one out here. I mean, you can't get the visual here on a podcast,
right?
But it's a 24-ounce can, so it's huge.
Yeah,
7.3 ounces of 24 ounces of liquid love.
Right.
It's one of our favorite beers. Again, we're using Southern Hemisphere hops, so you have Australia and New Zealand hops going in there that are just like make this dynamic combo where it's a super high alcohol level. It's got the hoppiness and the nose and the smell, the body, the taste, but it's not as bitter. So for somebody like maybe if you're not into IPAs per se, it's a good transition one. But if you're into IPAs, it's so unique and different.
Right.
Like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Because it's such a different profile than an IPA you probably drink normally.
Right.
Yeah. You mentioned that people only care if it's good. Now people like good beer, but there's also an audience for that super geeky beer shit.
Yeah.
We see every week on Beer Advocate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, usually whatever I drink, I then look at a review on Beer Advocate. I find the most absurd review and I read it, and it's all very like on the nose. I get floral hints of like Oregon Cascade hops, like I'm a goat, and I feel like it's just like ridiculous shit. And I'm one of those dudes like I either like it or I don't like it. And I'll drink almost any beer. It's hard for me not to finish a beer. I don't think I've ever not finished a beer. But that's me being cheap and all that stuff. So
right. And I'm the opposite now, where because I drink so much, I will leave a beer. I want to try a different one because I like the taste of it. That's why you guys are drinking full pints. They have these glasses. They're called Malvi glasses. I don't think anybody else orders a beer this way here except me and maybe the owner, because it's just a sort of a half pint.
Right.
But it looks like a pint. Look at that.
It's cute.
Cute. But again, I drink beer all day. I can't sit here and just... I got work to do.
Right.
I can't just hoist down pints all day and get all my work done.
Hey, this is work. We're working right now.
Working the palate.
Yeah, it reminds me when we watch like videos of like bourbon master distillers. They got the giant like lazy Susan in front of them. They're turning it and tasting everyone, then spitting it into the giant.
Yes, and
I imagine somebody doing that in the back.
Yeah, you.
We don't have to spit here.
Yeah, Scott would last about 5 minutes of that job, and he'd pass out drunk.
Yeah, it's so funny when we see people doing that when they do the tasting and they spit it out. We're like, man, that's not a beer. Drink a beer. You drink your beer, buddy.
All right. Now, also going through the list of what you got, the selection is.
But hey, let's
down.
go back.
Yeah.
Did you guys think about like what you would name a beer and what style? I mean, I'm
Not
sure.
at all. No,
No, not at all. That was just a
Okay,
question. But I'm
okay.
saying you could have an illustrious porter or
Whoa.
an illustrious stout. Last year we did. Last year for our Acme event, we were at a bar and they made their own they made cocktails for us, and they named the cocktails after.
Right.
They had an Acme cocktail, and then they had an Outcast because Paul has 2 years ago. Paul has a set to us here, so we did an Outcast themed drink. But yeah, I like the. You can do an illustrious anything. You can do illustrious.
Yeah. Is there a hop that starts with the G?
Again, I'm not a brewer, but I can't think of any on top of my head. No, not at all. But I mean,
you could do an illustrious growler.
Oh.
Why don't you buy an illustrious growler?
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
We'll brainstorm.
I'm really good at this.
We'll put a pin in that one.
Yeah. The best part is none of this can be edited because the music, it'll jump with the music. So this entire conversation is going in unedited. Makes my job a lot easier. And when I record the intro tonight after like 9 more beers tonight, it'll be great.
wait, I have a question. How did the Acme event go? Did you guys do one?
Yeah,
It went well?
It went fantastic. We did a charity event for the Hero Initiative.
And it went really well, the Hero Initiative. I know
It
that.
was really awkward when Ryan took off his pants.
It was it was so weird. And then when Mike Norton and Tim Seeley wrestled shirtless in the hotel lobby, that was even weirder.
So where was the party for the Acme party you do, the pre-party?
It was at bonus round on
Okay,
May
that's right, out in
5th.
Phoenix.
In Phoenix,
Yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
I went there, actually. It was great.
Although, I'm not editing this, I could release this early, but I don't think we will. We don't want to.
No.
So anyways, it was fantastic. Thanks for asking, Mike. And thanks
Great.
for coming by.
I know.
It's fantastic.
Boom.
It's good seeing you twice. All right, Scott, you got something else on your beautiful list?
So your offerings here are broken down into 4 categories. Right?
Yes.
So you got the year-round and the seasonal. Every idiot knows what that means.
And the seasonals, just so people do know, because not everybody understands what our seasonals are. So we do seasonals every 3 months. So November, December, January is Sex Panther. Again, it's our nice porter. It's heavier, dark beer.
I think that might have been the first one I ever had.
Right, and that's again, weather's cooler here. We can do something like that. But otherwise, all our beers, 90% of our beers, is because we're in Arizona. We're Southwest style ales. We make ales. That's what we do here. And they're light, they're clean, they're crisp, they're refreshing. That's what we want to do with all our beers. So the next one after Sex Panther is our Grapefruit Shandy. So that comes out, that's February, March, April for the Shandy. May is and Grapefruit Shandy is pretty explanatory. It's a nice Shandy, which is a real super light beer with Arizona grapefruits in it. That we get from Sun Orchard, so it's real grapefruit, not an extract. A lot of companies use extract to save costs. We use real fruit. You can tell it's pulpier. You can taste that fruit. And then after that, we do our Lime Leafs Cream Ale, which is coming out next week.
I've never heard of that.
And we did it last year for the first time, but it's not like a lot of people envision it to be like a lime juice in a beer, like like a Bud Light lime thing, whatever. It's not that at all. It's actually we steep Kafer lime leaves in the brewing process, so it's a real faint lime taste. It's not like over lime. So it's a nice lime taste. It's a nice refreshing beer. It's a summer ale.
Right.
Just has a lot of nice qualities to it. It's a nice light refreshing beer.
So, okay, real quick, if you can explain it in just a minute or two.
Yeah.
What's a cream ale? Because sometimes, I routinely drink cheap beers, and Hennessy is a cream ale that I like because it's affordable and it goes down easy.
It's just
in
in the brewing process, how they brew. they put cream extract or whatever they're using into the cream process to make a cream flavor, but it is actually a frothier, the way the brewing process does. It makes it frothier and creamier. And
so if I actually poured it into a glass instead of drinking out of the bottle, I would notice a
you
bigger
would see
head.
it. You would see a bigger head on that. Exactly.
All right. Well, that sounds good then. Your lime cream ale.
Oh, it is. It's a good one. And we might, I don't know if it's on tap, but again, we might have one of those if you want to try one of those today. Again, super light beer. Okay. And then after lime, we go to our Oktoberfest, which is August, September, October. We want it to end in October beers, because nobody wants an October beer. I'm sorry. Nobody wants an October beer in November, December. So
I don't understand. What does that mean?
No, because everybody's like Oktoberfest beers. They want it during October. If all of a sudden
But what's the flavor profile for an Oktoberfest?
A German style lager.
Okay.
So that's what that is. We use it's a really nice German lager.
Right. People love Santan.
I swear this is the quietest part of the bar.
You probably see the mic, so they're probably doing it on purpose. Okay, yeah, so you have 4 seasonals that rotate every 3 months.
Yes. So that's the profile of those. And then we have our
also
cores.
got the Vault and the Pilot series. What are those and why are they different?
Pilot are these great little one-off beers we do. Usually they're going to be lower alcohol content. When I say lower, they're not going to be the Vault is stuff that's super high, 9 point and higher.
Okay.
That's
so
Vault.
those are your 10-ounce pours, probably.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So small, they're small pours, 8 to 10 ounce pours, basically, and they're really heavy. Like the one coming out next week is Kilo Hop. It's one of my favorites, and it's basically we take a kilo of hop into the batch, so it's really hoppy.
Kilo.
Yeah,
I thought it was like some Hawaiian hop.
No. It's like a kilo
of
of hops, and we jam pack we overpack the process of hops we put in there. But then we use ginger. We get from Lily's Market, so it's fresh ginger. We use honey from Crockett's Honey Farm here locally. So it's all that stuff. So you get the honey. It sort of offsets that super hoppiness to it. So it makes it smooth. And then the ginger, it's one of my favorite beers we do. So that's one I recommend. And we're going to be tapping out on Monday. And that's one of the Vault ones. We're pilots. We have two new new ones coming out this week. We have the German style Pilsner. It's called. It's the name of the hops is. It sounds like it's melon. And there might be a little light melon in it, but it's not overly melon. It's more just a nice traditional Pilsner, super light. And then the other one is Ginger Demon, which is actually a Japanese style dry lager. So it's something unique and different. We don't really do a lot of those.
Right.
It's probably been about 5 years since we've done
those are only available. The Pilot and the Vault are only available here in the brewery.
They're here in the brewery and at select bars and restaurants. Okay. We do a really low. It's an allocated beer, so all our special accounts that carry Santan, we try to get our top accounts the option to purchase those. But there's such a small amount of those. Pretty much everybody's getting like one small slim keg.
Right. Okay.
That's it, and they're gone. So they're available for the next 2-3 weeks. Then you're not going to see them again. Every quarter we come out with a new pilot series. Okay. It's a way for our brewers to make something different. Like the beer I was drinking here is the Citra with the Mosaic and all that. This is just something we were experimenting with. And if it does well here,
then
at the brewers, we might do a pilot series,
right?
Get it out on the market. We want to see kind of response we're getting from people. What are they?
Oh, so pilot. It's like a test. It's like a TV show pilot.
It's exactly what it is.
Okay.
So it's a test, and if it's doing well, we'll keep coming out with it. And eventually, if it does really well, that's what Moon Juice was. Moon Juice was a pilot series. Grapefruit Shandy was a pilot series. Lime Leaf was a pilot series. They're all now canned.
Okay.
So.
And then you guys you only can, right? You don't bottle?
We don't bottle, and a lot of people ask, why do we not bottle?
Right. I kind of know the answer to this.
You do, because again, a can is a mini keg. There's no light that gets into it at all. Bottle, you should have light it can contaminate the beer. Anything, light and air, that's what kills beer.
Right.
So, and age as well. So by having them in those little mini kegs, the carbonation process we do at the end really keeps those really popped. We want that pop to come out when you open that beer. Really,
Yeah, it's because people are coming around to it now.
Yeah,
it used
everybody
to be looked down on, but now everyone's canning. Right.
Even Dogfish Head's canning now. Isn't it crazy? Stone canning. I mean, you think of Stone Brewing, you think of those big bomber bottles and stuff, and now they've got cans out as well.
Right.
So everybody's doing it, not just hams.
Nothing wrong with the hams.
Is there anything comparable between the comics business and the beer business?
Oh, I think a lot so, and I think a lot of it is in the creative process. So both of you guys create. All our brewers, and Anthony, who started the company, was a brewer, and he still works with the brewers. And our head brewer, Gabe Wilson, all the time they get creative. They sit here, they drink beer, and they talk about different beers. They like you said, beer advocate. They look at what other people are doing, and you take the creative process, what other people are doing, to create what you want to do, your own thing. So, we're always doing stuff like that, and I think that's what's fun. And for me, in retail, the one thing I miss more than anything about Atomic Comics is the day-to-day interactions with people. And one of the reasons I came to Santan was to get that again, because I sort of missed that. Sitting in an office, selling videos to, David Gabriel at Marvel on the phone, or Ross Ritchie at Boom, or whoever I was dealing with. There was a misconnect to me. I didn't have that anymore. And you all know me. I'm a very touchy-feely,
Yeah, you had your hand on my ass the whole time.
and I miss that. So to get back into it, I'm doing this with Santan, and it's a lot of fun. I go in and I work with all these stores, and I make all these creative displays. And a lot of the stuff that I brought to Santan in the last 3 years, they hadn't been doing. So all these unique displays that we're doing, they're all by me, getting creative with our market and POS department to get stuff created for us. And it brings me back to like the heydays of 25 years ago when I was working with DC on the Death of Superman and working on what can help with those promos. And I used to love that with Atomic, was working with all the publishers to come up with cool promos and what would help sell comic books. And I'm doing that with beer now. So there's your...
Nice.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a question, you can jump in. I'll just go.
There you go.
You go. Mine are quick, so we'll wrap up with mine if you have a couple more.
We talked about this a little before we started recording. You still read anything?
It's funny. So I get stuff in the mail. Like Valiant just sent me a care package. I haven't read any Valiant stuff in a while, so I haven't opened it up. But I've got a box at home from Hunter and Dinesh from Valiant. So I'm interested in what they have going on because I've always liked the idea of Valiant Comics. I love there's a continuity and a universe. Besides Marvel and DC, you really don't have that out there in comics anymore. And I love what they're doing by doing that. So, but what I'm reading, I just read a new series that my friends at Samurai recommended to me a few weeks ago. I brought home the graphic novel for a new Brian Wood series. I'm trying to think what the name is. Do you guys know what it's called?
Briggs Land?
Yes. And
I haven't read it, but it just got nominated for an Eisner.
Did it? It was fantastic. The first 6 issues were fantastic. It took me back to the days that Jason Aaron was scalped, and it reminds me a little Big Love, and with these secret communities that are out there that are living off the radar and have their own little government. So I sort of like that. They are white supremacists, but I mean that's a
real small part.
That's such a small part.
They hate black people, but that's just a small part.
That's such a small part of it. I barely even noticed it. But again, Brian Wood is somebody who I've always liked his work.
Right.
I actually worked on his Rebels video for Dark Horse a couple years ago too. So we've done work with Brian as well. Otherwise, I still read Walking Dead. I read some of the Image books that come and go. I got to be honest, though, I haven't read anything from Marvel or DC in quite some time. Nothing's really jumped out at me. And again, when I left the industry, it's been, 5-6 years now. When I left the comic industry, that was when all the changes started happening with DC rebranding, everybody rebirths and all that. And I'll come back because I love those characters a lot, but I don't like the way things just constantly keep changing. It just changes for change.
Right.
So let's come out with another number one because that will help sell more comic books.
Right.
And I don't want that because I want a nice continuity.
We
I want to
touched on this a bit a couple weeks ago. Yeah. It was constant changes and nothing can get settled.
Yeah. Right.
And another one.
And that, and there's going to be more change. So it's like, why invest?
Right. Like I would love to get into X-Men now, but what's the point? Because in 2 years it's going to be all different, all new, all different, all changed.
Yeah, that actually slides into my last question. As
as a businessman yourself, is there any input you have for
the comic
publishers
industry?
for sliding sales?
Advice. Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. And I did not realize how bad the sales were until I started getting some reports in the last few months, sales numbers, and just so you know, the tracking numbers on Exo number 1 were wrong. They claimed 60,000, but they were actually 90,000 sold.
Oh, wow.
Just so you know, Diamond made a snafu on the reporting. I don't work for Valiant, but I did know that. But I think they need to stop listening to a marketing team of how we can sell comics. And the bottom line is, this has always been a grassroots community. So you sort of know, but you got to build with grassroots. You got to build it up. You can't just come up with a new fad every week. What was it? Make all the stores Hydra headquarters. You saw the slack on that. You guys read that at all about?
No.
What's his name? Is Phil Boyle over at Coliseum Comics. It was on ABC News this week. I don't know if you guys didn't catch this. Yeah, it's all about Trump all the time. Anyway, but apparently he's throwing an anti thing to Marvel because they have this thing where you can change your logo to like the Hydra logo.
Semi Comics did it on Facebook.
Did they? Okay, so that was the thing you can do. And Marvel said they had 70 to 90 stores sign up. But Phil was really against this. Coliseum, who owns a big chain of comic stores, he's one of the top comic retailers in the country, and he was against it. He goes, "Why do I want to perceive myself as a villain or my store as a villain?" So he's against it. So he came up with this other hero thing, and he's got people on a bandwagon. Hey, don't do this. So it's an anti thing because a lot of people are upset to say, "Hey, Steve Rogers has been in Hydra all along." I mean. What does that sound like to you? Does that sound like somebody just trying to make some quick money? What does that sound like to you?
That's I really don't give a shit. I don't read most Marvel books, but
you love Captain America?
Yeah, but the people that get super butthurt about it, I'm like, don't worry. In 6 months,
right?
It'll revert and it'll all be a long con.
And Marvel
in deep cover for
40
exactly.
Years. It's so obvious, it's so blatant. Why did somebody get so upset? And that's like Marvel had to put out a statement because ABC. Sister company of Disney, sister company of Marvel. Right. Of course, they had to address the issue on the news, and they said, while we value the opinions of all our fans, and we just want them to understand, let the story play out before you make any judgment. Because, of course, he's not going to be Hydra. And that's why I sort of missed that. Because there was always something like that going on in the comic industry because of the fans. And it's a fan-based society for comics, and a business that's trying to make money. I just think they got to come out with quality stories. It's the same thing always. You come out with quality stories and consistency on teams and publishing, you're going to sell comic books.
Right.
You know, bottom line, it will because people love it. I mean, all of a sudden like Mark Waid and somebody was writing a long run on Captain America, and you knew it was going to be a long run, you'd buy it again. You would. Because you know he'd come up with some quality stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the way Joe Quesada was doing it like 10 years ago with Marvel, where they had, it was a writer, but there were different art teams they would have several art teams that would work on a book. I think that's a good way to do it because that way if somebody got sick, if somebody got behind on a book, it was going to get made up by somebody else doing a 4-issue run as well. And they would alternate these runs.
Right.
You know, and I think that's the way to do it in today's day and age with the big publishers, Marvel or DC. You know, and that's what's made these indies so popular. You know, like Image is not an indie, Dark Horse is not an indie, but you know, by doing these small storylines, it's done by a creative team that owns it. They're behind it. It's always going to be Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples on Saga. So you know the consistency's there, and that's what's made those so popular. Yeah, agree?
I agree. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
I think Scott's laughing because you keep punching the table.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't punch you guys.
That's fine though.
That was my last question.
Okay, so I have something nice to say and then 2 quick questions.
Yeah.
So the Acme event that just happened last weekend.
Oh, fantastic!
Fantastic event. There's two.
Wait. Was Vince Vaughn there? I saw. Was that
just at the after party?
Okay.
Yeah. So. 2 things sparked that in my mind, right? And then I got to also thank Mike Banks at Samurai because he's the one who makes it possible. But
Great guy, Mike.
great guy. So one thing was I felt disrespected by an email I got from a convention. And that, for someone who didn't even work at the convention, he was like an associate. I'm not going to get
Phoenix
into it.
Comic-Con?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
so someone who was working for someone sent me an email that I thought was a little shitty.
Okay.
And I was like, and this is many years ago. I'm fine. Phoenix Comic Con, I'm fine with them. They're fine with me. I assume.
Okay.
I'm a guest, so I assume they're fine with me. And then the other one was, well, like fuck them. If they're gonna treat creators like shit, then maybe I should just do my own event. And I'm like, and then my other thought was, Malvi used to always go all out for Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
And it was always fun, and it was always a weekend, and it was always a party.
Wasn't
and
it
I'm
just
like,
Free
fuck-
Comic Book Day? It was the whole weekend.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck it, let's do the same thing. So
Yeah.
I got Mike Banks to host it and fund it, basically, and then he let me be in charge of everything else, and I was like, fine, I'll bring out my friend. I'll bring out, like this past weekend, we had Tim Seeley and Mike Norton out, and those dudes are great. So
No, I applaud you for carrying on for me because I tell you, and Mike Banks too, because I really don't see that here in the state anymore. And that's the one thing I miss. I go in a comic book store, I don't see the conversation, I don't see the events, I don't see any of that stuff. It's all about Magic the Gathering at some tables. If you go to the store, the owner's stuck behind the counter dealing with somebody with Pokemon cards, and it just one thing it makes me realize, like, thank God I'm not here anymore because I couldn't deal with that. And second is, thank God that you guys are here doing your Acme event because somebody's got to do something because it needs it. I mean, I think that's also, no offense. I mean, I really just, I go into comic stores and I'm just like, I don't see anything that's close to Atomic in that sense. Mike's got a great store. They're great looking. They're well stocked. They're well run. But that fan thing, I don't see that as much as it used to be.
Right.
And I don't know if it was changing even when I was doing it. So there'd be times where I'd have 500 people show up to an event. And at the last couple of years, I remember a Jason Aaron event, there was there might have been like 80 people showed up for it.
I remember running into you and Jason drunk in a hotel lobby. Because my wife and I had gone to see the Pixies. And
Oh,
we were
that's
coming back
right.
from the Pixie show, and you had just picked up Jason at the airport, I think. And I think I was drunk, and I was like, "You're Jason Aaron." So that was classy. All right, so 2 quick questions. What's your favorite Santan beer? You kind of mentioned it earlier, I think.
You know what?
But I mean, all time, not out of everything you guys made here. If you have a favorite?
My go-to beer for Santan has always been Mr. Pineapple. And again, for me, it's just because it's a light beer, and I have to drink a lot of beer. If I'm drinking Moon Juice, which is a fantastic beer, Hop Shock, I love them. I do drink them all, but I can't drink several of them. I can't get my work done. So Mr. Pineapple, if you go to my house, you'll find Mr. Pineapple probably in my fridge, is what I have on the weekend. I'm sitting outside by the pool, barbecuing, or hanging out with my, whatever on the internet. I probably have a Mr. Pineapple at home is what my favorite beer is.
And what's your favorite non-Santan beer? Or a brewery, or,
I don't drink any other beers besides Santan, but I experiment. I always I bought some St. Archer a few weeks ago. I really liked it. It was their IPA with the Nelson hops they're using. Really good beer. I had, of course, Bell's. Bell's makes great beer.
Yeah, Bell's does make good beer.
Yeah, I had Hop Slam recently. I got a 6-pack of that. And then another one of my favorite places to go is by my house's Whole Foods Chandler. They have a place called the Watering Hole. And it's a good place to go. I get a little grocery shopping done, but they turn over their handles every week, and it's always special allocated beers or beers you don't normally get. And a few weeks back, they brought in all the Pizza Port guys. California, they had 8 handles for Pizza Port. And you don't usually get that here in Arizona. So I like a place like that brings in unique beers and different beers so I get to try stuff. So.
Cool. All right. You got anything else, Scott?
No, that's it.
Thanks, Mike.
Great.
Can I bang on the table a little more?
Yeah, please. Give us a big one, right?
Okay,
All right.
so to wrap up real quick, our ratings process. What did I have again? Because I have no memory.
Okay, you had the Devil's Ale.
Okay, so the Devil's Ale.
What's our flagship pale ale?
Right. So I would give this probably a 4 out of 5.
Okay, thank you. I was like, oh, what?
Hey, no. So we have a 1 through 5 rating
Yes,
system,
okay.
and 4 is kind of like I would order it again, and I would tell people you should check this beer out. It's good. and then a 5 would be like I would be singing about it nonstop.
Yes.
It's a very good pale ale. I normally wouldn't drink a pale ale with this low content, but it is 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's what I was trying to do with you guys. Hey guys, let's start with something super duper light. And you're like, do you have a stout? Do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I want to try your Heavy D. It's a
we have that.
Super high.
So Heavy D,
good IPA with a low IBU.
Heavy D is Devil's Ale. Heavy D, so it's a heavy version of the Devil's Ale.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it is. Use a high hopped up one.
Cool.
So, and that's what we were thinking about too. Like, I didn't know if you were gonna ask me questions like, so if the Hulk came in and wanted a beer, what would he drink? That's what I was thinking you were going to ask me. I was like, well, the Hulk, he would drink this. And I was like...
Not now.
And I was thinking, when I thought of Heavy D, I was like, Heavy D would be the Thor's drink, because it's like, if you can lift this beer, you are worthy to drink the Heavy D.
You're such a geek.
I am. I'm totally a geek.
Right, Scott, you had the...
Gordo Stout.
Gordo Stout.
Gordo.
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Your face actually lights up now when you're talking about it.
A really high 4. Just, yeah.
Who gets 5s? I want to know who gets these 5s.
I don't think we've ever get. Oh,
good. Then I feel really good.
He gave his whiskey a 5 last week.
Oh, really? What were you guys drinking?
Yeah. Eagle Rare 10.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever given a 5. Only because the beer, my favorite beer, is only available on tap, and it's from Flagstaff, so I can't.
Which one is that again?
Historic Pie Hole Porter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They have it up at the Fries. My Fries over here, we have it.
They can it?
No, it's on draft.
Oh, it's on tap. Yeah.
That's it. And it's over at my Whole Foods, too. They usually have it there. So
I'm too cheap to go get my growler filled, but if I go get my growler filled, I can do it for the show.
Right, yeah.
But
It's a really good beer.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so thanks, Mike. We really
Cheers.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. Clink, let's clink it.
All right.
I hope you guys drink some more, too.
Right?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Mike.